Hi, my name is Brenna Robinson. I'm a representative from Clorox, and today I will be talking to y'all about preserving Halloween pumpkins. Now, Halloween comes and goes, and you're once again sneaking your child's jack-o'-lantern off the porch because it's begun its rotting process, which we all know is very gross. So, there are a few simple steps that y'all can follow to ensure that you can prolong, per se, this rotting process. Now, the first step is to pick the right pumpkin. Many people think rotting starts happening when you start carving it and you open the pumpkin up. That is not true. When you're picking a pumpkin, it needs to be the same color all around. There should not be any yellow discoloration or green discoloration because those are early signs of rotting. Also, check for bruising, scarring, any open cuts on the pumpkin, any soft spots like on this one right here. If you want to pass that around and look at it. That pumpkin is good for how late in the season it is, but when you're trying to pick a pumpkin, it should look about the same throughout the entire region of it. Okay? Now, if a pumpkin, for example, this stem is dark brown. If it has a light stem or the stem bends when you pick it up, that pumpkin is not ready, and if it's not mature, it will begin rotting sooner. Like this one has a dark stem as well. Okay, the decorating process. There are over 60 ways you can decorate a pumpkin. From painting it, traditionally carving it, and people are starting to glue stuff on pumpkins to decorate them, which is strange to me, but they do it. For cleaning and carving your pumpkin, you want to be sure that you cut the top off at an angle. This ensures that when you put it on with the candle inside, it won't fall through. Also, when it starts rotting, the pumpkin starts losing its moisture, it starts getting smaller, the top won't fall into the pumpkin. When you're cleaning it, you need to get all the fibrous strands out of the pumpkin, all the seeds, and it's also good to get like a spoon or something that you can reach into the pumpkin and pull that first layer of skin off it on the inside. So this inside of here is a good example of what it should look like when you're done carving it. If y'all want to pass that around for a minute. Do your best to get out all of the fibrous strands. If you leave those in there, it traps the moisture inside and it starts rotting. Now, painting a pumpkin, it's still good to carve the inside of it. If you leave the moisture trapped inside, chances are it'll start rotting faster. Moisture is what causes the rotting process after all. Now, to preserve your pumpkin. On the paper that I handed out to y'all, there is a list of materials. You have your pumpkins, you have your 5-gallon bucket, even though if your pumpkin's small enough, you can use your sink in the kitchen or maybe your bathtub if you want. Clorox bleach is what you need to use. A teaspoon of Clorox bleach per gallon of water is what is required to preserve it. Also, a measuring spoon. It can be like a teaspoon that you eat with, or one like this for baking purposes. And you will need paper towels. The paper towels are for after you soak your pumpkin in the bleach water, which you do for 2 minutes. Make sure it's completely submerged also. You will turn your pumpkin upside down and let it air dry. Make sure your pumpkin is completely dry before you do anything else with it. Since I rested mine on the top and I didn't rotate it throughout the drying process, there is a ring of discoloration where the moisture has been locked into the pumpkin. And this can be a problem because that moisture can cause rotting and it'll start breaking down the pumpkin sooner than when it should be. For Like, I used this bucket to soak that pumpkin in, and I only had to use 2 gallons of water, so I only used 2 teaspoons of bleach. You put your pumpkin in there, and since it's hollowed out, it will float. You need to put an object or keep your hand on top of the pumpkin as well as the lid while it is soaking. Up here are also the materials listed and the procedure needed that you need to follow. I highly recommend using Clorox bleach to do this. Clorox bleach does more than just like whiten clothes and kill stuff. It also is one of the highest ranking disinfectants throughout the country. Now, my sources are the decorating that I've shown, like all these pictures of the pumpkins are from countryliving.com. They have a ton of ideas of what you can do with your pumpkin. Like, they have a pumpkin with lace on it and pearls taped to it. It's really cute. And then picking the right pumpkin, like I said, needs to be all solid color. If you go to allaboutpumpkins.com, they will go into more detail about how to choose the right pumpkin. Also, I got the materials list from Clorox.com. Do y'all have any questions? Yes.
Why do you highly recommend Clorox?
Well, like I said, it is the leading brand of bleach, and I'm not only recommending it because I work there. I use this at home. I trust it. It's safe. It is, like, if you put it on clothes, it won't cause your kids to have, like, skin rashes and breakouts, so.
Do you do the bleach and soak it after you carve the pumpkin, or just whenever you take the insides out?
You do it after you carve your pumpkin, if you're carving it. Like I said, if you're painting it, you still need to take the insides out and then soak it, but it does need to be soaked after everything's out of it.
What kind of effect does the bleach have on the pumpkin?
Well, bleach is a disinfectant, and its antibacterial properties traps around the pumpkin. It goes on the inside and it kind of dries it out. So what this does is it prevents the moisture from getting into the pumpkin, which causes the rotting process. The more moisture the pumpkin has, the sooner it's going to rot, and this kind of dries it out too. So, any more questions?
So I noticed there's strands in the pumpkin, so is that going to cause the pumpkin, or threads still in the mouth of the pumpkin? Is that going to cause the pumpkin to mold and mildew faster?
No, well, with the Clorox, it dries the leftover strands out. It makes them kind of brittle, and they lose all their moisture. So it will not lose.
So the more you keep inside there, the harder it is for the Clorox to go through everything?
Right. Yes.
Is it okay, like, if you take off too much skin inside?
Yes, it is. Pumpkins are generally pretty thick. This one is probably over an inch thick on the inside. So as long as you keep it enough thickness where, like, if you're messing with it, it won't break. But you can take off probably half an inch of the skin on the inside and be okay. Now, like I said, Clorox is an amazing product to use, and you can use it for laundry, you can use it to clean the bathrooms, which we all know is very gross. But if you want your pumpkin to last through Thanksgiving, to show your relatives your child's creation, then I recommend using Clorox. Thank you.